Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com. I'm not really sure what's going on. It says an error occurred on Twitter. It's usually temporary. Wait a moment and try again. I don't know if that means we're not live on YouTube. Are we live on YouTube? I guess we are. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday show. We have got see ya. It's what happens is when as the cappers get at it, it goes to like another level of things and gets hidden, and I have my camera right in front of it, so it makes it hard. So Jovan always feels like he gets lost. Texts me. It's all right. We got you. With the way you're picking, we will definitely have you on the show. We'll make sure we'll send someone out there. Chris, how's it going? I got a confession to make to everyone. I'm into the Halloween candy. I'm into it already. We bought the full size. I bought like a giant box from Costco, full size candy bars. I'm into them. I'm into it. I got Butterfinger. I had the 100 grand, Nestle's Crunch. Yeah, I'm in. I'm already there. It's freaking October 16th. I'm in. It's like I can only. I'm gonna need a whole nother thing.
Well, I had you beat by a week, so.
Yeah, I got into it. It's like as soon as I open it up, man, I'm done.
The 150 box went down to about 90 after Mississippi State, Kentucky yesterday. So
yeah,
drowned my sorrows in coffee crisps and Kit Kats.
Pretty interesting Saturday there for sure. I changed my big play to a loser from a winner. It's like do it. I would say 100% of the time I change the pick, it loses, and the one that I change it from wins. I'd say at least 99.9% of the time, if not 100% of the time. I knew Clemson was going to kick the dog crap out of Florida State. Florida State's like here, Clemson's like here, and it's like Dabo Swinney's been driving the dagger in these games, scoring touchdowns like up 20 with 4 minutes left to go. He's been in the hurry up offense. It's like you knew he was going to go into Tallahassee and knock the crap out of those guys. Florida State got lucky to try and get back in it at the end, but it was never really close. Like that they were going to cover or anything. It was never like a game. Oh well, happens. Anyways, today's a new day. How about you, Sean? How'd yesterday go for you?
3-2 on the 5 college premiums. Should have been. I kind of got the tough finish there in the Oklahoma State TCU. My big play was on the under in that one, so under 68.5, and then it's 30-23 with a few minutes left, and TCU of course drives down the field, and then there's still 2 minutes left, and then Oklahoma State just completely basically might as well just taken a knee. And it was the same with TCU when they got the ball back. So it went to overtime, and you know how that goes. 4th and 9, Oklahoma State, they convert, and then they end up tying it, and it goes over. So kind of feel like I should have got a 4-1 out of the day, but I'll take the winning day anytime we can get it. And I was fortunate. You mentioned that Chris mentioned that Mississippi State Kentucky game. I had the under in that one, and it's 3-3 at halftime. You think under 50.5 is safe, and then comes right down to the wire. Kentucky easily could have. They came a yard away from pushing that one over the total. So I was fortunate to get that win. So all in all, take the 3-2 day and move on to NFL Sunday.
Jovan, once again, destroying it on Saturday. How's it going?
It's going fine. Just looking forward to today. NFL is tricky sometimes, and I see a lot of games where it can go either way. So.
Well, the more data we have to handicap the games, the more data the books have to get these lines right, and you start to see some of these lines coming right at it. And how about Purdue, Nebraska? I know it ended up being a 6-point game, but Purdue was it was anywhere between 13 and 14, depending on where you got it. They scored a touchdown late to go up by 13 and missed the extra point. With like a minute left to go in the game, and then they left the Nebraska receiver wide open. Seems that pass defense is a forgotten art in college football.
In the NFL too.
Yeah, just well, this is what happened. This is what they did, and it's like they started making all these rules offense friendly, and instead of coming up with new strategies on how to defend it, they just get these guys and put them in man coverage. They leave them out there, and instead of they leave them out there in man coverage, and then everybody else just blitzes the quarterback because the only way you can do it is to get pressure on the quarterback and get him to throw a bad ball. And they're not getting to him fast enough with a lot of these guys. Now then they go to the mobile QB, right? That rolls out and throws like Jalen Hurts, right? So it's like, or Michael Vick, was the best at it, right? I don't know. It's just I don't really that and the working this thing, so it's like so the other team uses their timeouts as opposed to just playing what's been working for you for 58 minutes. I mean, why don't you just stick to what's been working the last 58 minutes? And then it's like, yeah, they use up all their timeouts, but you give them the ball and lose the game or blow the cover, right? It's like it doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I think Chris Peterson, the old Boise coach, was one of the best. He always just kept playing. You never saw him working for the timeouts ever. He just always just kept playing. Exact thing. Whether you're on the other team's 2-yard line, whether you're on your own 2-yard line, whether there's a minute left, whether there's 59 minutes left. It's exactly even keeled the whole way. It's like that's how coaches get fired. Guys like Paul Christ do that. That's how you get fired. Speaking of getting fired, Al Ninos, how you doing?
Yeah, I don't know what we're complaining about. Did you say the catching on the pass defenses, or did you say pass defenses in general?
Pass defenses in general were just absolutely hit us. What happened is, so Heupel on Tennessee appears to have figured this out, and that is that if you decide to play a true safety there, if you stack the wide receivers and your fast wide receiver, your sprinter, is the tail wide receiver of the stack, then it ends up being a safety on your sprinter, and it's a mismatch every time. And that's what we saw yesterday in the Tennessee-Alabama game. So what you're going to see next is more 6'4" corners that can decapitate people. That will be the next thing, is that the guys who are the great, great athletes, the guys who are playing wide receiver, the Calvin Johnsons of the world, they're going to be playing corner. The Mike Williams types, these big receivers that can really, probably, you're going to see like Hakeem Olajuwon playing corner is what you're going to see.
I was just going to say because, I thought you were knocking on their catching the ball, and I was going to say that we saw the NFL, actually the receivers struggle with that last Thursday, and that was kind of tough to watch. But yeah, it's true. Defenses, I think, in general in college.
Well, look at these.
Sometimes they're really good or not that good at all. So that's what I think about.
Look at these totals. I mean, they're 70 plus, and they can't even hold the water, right? It's like 70 plus isn't high enough for these totals. What do we start seeing? 90s? I think it's going to happen if they continue to go at this rate. Jay, well, we know you got a big one today, but the if we look at Major League Baseball last night, what great finishes, man. 2 games that were just, absolutely unbelievable. The Guardians refusing to take no for an answer. And, the Astros, Pena, what can you say? As odd as it is when you look at the NFL backup quarterbacks and how maybe bad shape the NFL might be in going forward, man, you look at Major League Baseball and they got a lot of good young stars out there. We saw them on the Guardians. Just the way that these guys talk after the game, compared to the NFL players, it's just night and day. And it's hard to say because baseball has always been the opposite, but super refreshing, even through the interpreter.
Yeah, man, I got my ass handed to me yesterday. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Yesterday was a rough day in the office, but today's a new day. Today's Sunday, NFL Sunday. Today my birthday. We got a huge matchup tonight. Today's gonna be a great day, man. So I'm ready for it. I'm gonna smash today down. Today's gonna be a great one.
The beauty of betting on sports is you always get a clean slate every day. All it takes is a few good days. You're back to even or ahead. It doesn't take much. That's for sure. No matter how bad of a run you have. I've had a terrible 2 years. I know that. I own it, and it's like, but all I know, I've had 12 good ones, so it happens. I know, my head's been in other places and, I can use it as an excuse. I've also, I've caught some bad luck and I've made some stupid things, taking money lines on games I would have easily covered. Cardinals last week, Rutgers last week, games I would have covered if I would have taken the points, but it's not my game. And it's not how I've, done it over the years. And I think what's hard for me, about it is when it comes to the premium picks, it's not exactly how I bet it, like last week, the Titans against the Commanders, I put $7,500 on that game. I had more on that game than I had on all the other games. And then I hit it at halftime with you for another 3,500. So, while I didn't have a winning week overall when it came to, plus and minus, if you count every game even, I cleaned house, man. I bought some, I came home from Vegas, man. We bought some, got some new artwork, it's like that's the type of shit, you come home, you give your wife, it's like, oh, how was Vegas? You're
great.
Chris, I always show Chris like my Vegas wad of cash. It's like, it's an odd thing, right? It's like, because my record doesn't show like that I won, but when you look at, the bankroll, it's like, holy crap. It was like that Miami Auburn, when the last time I saw Chris in Vegas, that Miami Auburn college hoops game counted as one win on my handicapper record. But you can tell Chris, I couldn't fit the money in my pocket.
I was going to say, we were walking around. We were walking around the circuit, and Mitch just had to keep pulling his pants up. They kept falling down below his butt cheeks because they kept getting weighed down.
That's so much cash in there. Finally, I just took I took a nice little off. I just gave it to Ruffalo. It's like, just take this, man, because you got too much. But I think we could do it. And, I just wish there was a way that I could show everybody that, those picks, my all ins, and just like that Titans last week against Commanders. That was just like an all in, where it's just like, oh my God, does it get any better than this?
All right.
It's rare. There's only a few of those a year, and I've been fortunate enough to be in Vegas when I've hit a lot of those. Anyways, let's get to today's action. Got the Saints and the Bengals. This line on the move. It's going higher. The Saints right now +3. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase making their return to Louisiana. They said this game means a ton to them. And, we saw New Orleans really have a good, time moving the football last week. We're going to see if maybe that was just playing the Seattle defense or if maybe there's something here. I like the over 42.5. I think this is going to be a fairly wide open game, and I can see this one getting closer to 45 or 46. So I like the over between the Bengals and Saints.
Sean?
Yeah, I'd actually look the other way and go with the under in this one. Last week the Saints coming off that crazy high-scoring game against Seattle, but that's just the nature of playing that Seahawks defense, which is arguably the worst in the league, or it's up there anyway. I just don't trust the Saints offense here. I don't trust Andy Dalton. He's pretty much all their wide receivers are injured. So it's this feels like an Alvin Kamara kind of game, a lot of dump off passes. And I think the Bengals defense plays it pretty safe here. And I think they contain the Saints offense. And, Cincinnati's offense just hasn't been, they've had moments where they've looked good, but they just haven't been at the same level as we saw last year. One concern here is obviously Saints without Marshawn Lattimore in the secondary. So, it opens up for a big game for Jamar Chase, obviously. But I'll go against the fact that the Saints have played to consecutive overs here. I think this one sneaks under the total.
Jovan?
Yeah, I don't like the fact that this line's going up, but I'll still roll with the Bengals in this one. Now you do have another angle if you're looking for the Saints. You have Andy Dalton going up against his old ball club. There's that, but yeah, I'm fading Andy Dalton any chance I get. Last week I was actually on New Orleans, but that was just a different ball game with a different opponent. Dealing with Cincinnati, yeah, they have a weak offensive line, but I believe that their receivers can beat whatever they're a banged up secondary in New Orleans. So I think they're going to win a lot of 50-50 matchups, regardless of who's in there. I don't know if T. Higgins is playing, but they still got Tyler Boyd. As he'll jump up to the second man if T. Higgins doesn't play. And then you got Jamar Chase. He's the big dog. He's getting doubled. Should have some wide receivers open other than Jamar Chase. So I expect Cincinnati to pull this out.
So Jovan, you're tearing up the leaderboards right now, and you're kind of like you've been around the block here a little while. Any words of advice here for Jay, who's beating himself up because he had a bad day? It's like, Jovan, you ever have a day where it's like, you've lost every pick and it's kind of like you finally look like you're going to win one, and it's like some reliever gives up a meaningless home run to kill your run line.
Listen, all the time, but it's just the nature of the business. You can't be too high, you can't get too low. That's the way I play it. I've had this I've had the 9-0 days in college football. I've also had, I haven't had a completely over in college football, but I've had some bad ones. Other sports, like let's say baseball, I've gone I've gone over. You know what I mean? And it always breaks out. You're winning the game, 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning comes along, bad managerial decision happens, and you're all done. I try to adjust. I take some first fives or to try to play with it and try to get back. But it seems like you might get a little uptick, then that starts to fail you. So sometimes it just happens. You got to ride the wave. You got to take a step back. Maybe in the handicapping, you got to strip down a lot of things. Keep it simple. Don't get too complex with your handicapping, because that sometimes with me, I'll get a little bit. I'll put in aspects to the handicapping that I shouldn't, and I'll take those away, and they just try to strip it bare. And just, for me, it's whole old school handicapping. That's what I call it. Where you don't have a lot of the numbers, the analytics, and all that, the things that have come into play like within the last 10 to 15 years, maybe 20 years or whatever. That's just how I play it when I'm on the downswing.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said there. I agree with 100% everything that you said. It's like, especially it's like, don't ride the highs. Don't kick yourself on the lows. It's like you still got to face tomorrow, and it's like it could go either way. And sometimes, it's like you can handicap these games and have it just absolutely picked perfect. I mean, I had the Bears on Thursday. I thought I had that thing perfect. And look what happens, 3 turnovers inside the red zone. And then I also had, then they missed by 1/4 of an inch. And the thing is, that's the second time this year that's happened to me. I had Seattle in that Monday night game again, or I had the Broncos in that Monday night game against Seattle, where they fumbled twice on the goal line, where if either of those go, it's a touchdown. And it's like, I explain this to people and they say, oh, it must be so much fun to watch sports and everything. I said, how about this? How about you take $7,000 out of your bank account? Okay. You have it nailed down this game, right? And you have got this thing won. All of a sudden, a bad call here, a miracle catch there, and your whole thing comes down to some 17-year-old kid in a 35-mile-an-hour crosswind from 28 yards out. You tell me how fun it is. It's like that is the nature of the beast. Is that,
and on the other side, I was on the Commanders. I knew I shouldn't have won that game, but things happen to where you have a bad enough team in the Bears to where their first couple drives. First couple drives, they should have got something on the board and got nothing. And then late in the game, when the Commanders are winning, they give the Bears another chance. The Bears immediately go down the field, and then the last play of the game, Barble, he was in the end zone, he was on the line, bobbled the ball. At that point, when he secured it, he was outside of the end zone. And that's all she wrote.
To me, it was the third down play call. Throwing it into the back corner of the end zone instead of trying something else like a quick little out pattern, to one of the backs, to Montgomery or something. I don't know.
Hey, it's the nature of the beast, man.
That one wasn't a bad call. That one was just, I just lost, and it's like, and I catch some breaks sometimes, sometimes I don't, but it's the nature of the beast. Al Ninos, what do you think of this game? Saints-Bengals.
Yeah, got a premium on this one, but I like Joe Mixon to get a touchdown, no end zone for him last week. The Saints defense has been good, but they've been better against the pass than the run. So I was tempted to go with Jamar Chase here after a couple of weeks of no scoring. You could probably maybe bet both, but go with Joe Mixon to score a touchdown anytime.
110 wins and you're out to the wild card team that you beat up on all season.
111, franchise record.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, tough season.
That is a tough way to go. Jay Briggs, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, man. We did our NFL show earlier in the week. I was all over the Bengals. As I continued to look more into it, man, I came off the Bengals. I still lean that way, but I couldn't get there to put them as a premium. This Saints team is like one of the most is the hardest team for me to get under my wraps. I think they keep this game close, man. Taysom Hill, what he brings to this team, just the unpredictability of him, man. We seen what he did last week. He won that game almost single-handedly last week. This Bengals team is in a Super Bowl slump. I hate to say it. I was all over the Bengals last year, but it's hard to be on them this year, man. They don't have that big playability. Teams are not letting them go over the top. The Saints are not going to let them go over the top. Joe Burrow is turnover prone, and I can see this Saints team turning them over. That's why it wasn't a premium, but I still do lean the Bengals here in this game.
I think this game stays under the total. The Bengals have been under the total, I think, 15 in a row. So I think it continues to stay under there. Andy Dalton, I mean, he knows what it's like to lose when the Bengals are on the field. He certainly has done that plenty. And, the Bengals, like you said, they don't look to be the same team. They look closer to the team they were 2 years ago when Joe Burrow was taking a beating in the pocket. He's just getting crushed back there. That is the problem. He's just taking a beating, and they're trying these swing passes, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. I think Joe Mixon, trying to show up here, and I think he's done a nice job so far. Got the Colts and the Jaguars. This is about as interesting as it gets because the trends in this game are off the chain. The Jaguars always cover against the Colts, and the Colts always beat the Jaguars in Indy, and you have a 1.5 point spread. So this is one where you can basically try and middle this bastard right down the middle there and just take the Colts on the money line and the Jags with the points. Chris?
Yeah, those trends can be pretty damning. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think you can middle this one. That's why I'm taking the Jaguars. Plus the 1.5. 13-1-1 the Jags are in the last 15 meetings against Indy. I think this is a buy low spot on the Jaguars. They looked bad against Houston last week, but it's a Houston team that's had their number over the last 4+ years, kind of like how the Jaguars have had the Colts number. And, the Colts, last I checked, they're missing Nyheim Hines. They're missing Jonathan Taylor. Quiddy payout for this one. Still no Shaq Leonard. And the Colts, Matt Ryan still leads the league in interceptions with 7, leads the league in fumbles with 11. I'm not jumping on the Colts just because, they won a toilet bowl game against Denver on Thursday night, a game that they were handed. I think if there's one spot where Jacksonville shows up, it's going to be here. I like Jacksonville plus the 1.5.
Sean?
Yeah, he'd be really tempted to play the under here with the Colts. 5-0 to the under so far this season. We already saw these two teams play.
World is on the under in this game.
We saw back in week 2.
World.
Week 2, 24 points. Colts got shut out. I'd lean to the over here. I think, we're dealing with a slightly lower total than we saw in that week 2 matchup, which closed at 43.5, I believe. I don't think the Colts defense is actually that good. They've benefited the last couple of weeks. They played the Titans where they actually kind of got run over by Derrick Henry in that one, but Ryan Tannehill obviously didn't do much as usual. And then last week they played Denver where the Broncos, that offense is just broken. The Indy offense is definitely a concern here. As Chris mentioned, no Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan looks like he's, done. They've had a few extra days to prepare for this one. Maybe they put some sort of game plan together. I don't know. There's more of a gut feel play here. I just think the under looks everything would point to the under, but I think this is a game that maybe just creeps over the total, maybe a 24-21, 24-20 type game.
Jovan.
Yeah, I'm on the Colts in this one. And that's going against the trends as far as head-to-head matchups. The Jaguars have covered the last 6 meetings, but I just think in this one, the Colts are not a good offensive team. They play good enough defense, but I'm basically fading on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't like what I've seen the last couple of weeks, from them, especially with the quarterback. He's giving up the ball a little bit too much. Yeah, against Philly, it was wet. But you got to secure those balls. You can't just fumble it all over the place. And then last game, gave up some more against Houston. So I don't know. I just don't like the way the offense is trending for Jacksonville. So I'm on the Colts in this one.
Alninos.
Definitely not my favorite game on the board, but I guess I'll take a slight lean to the Jaguars. Just money line. I don't know. Don't like this game at all.
Okay.
Yeah, on this one, I'm kind of on the same tune as Javon in this one, man. As I look, I know we got no Jonathan Taylor, no Naheem Hines, which is a huge blow to this team, honestly. The second best running back in the league, and then probably the best backup running back in the league, both out. But this Jags team, man, I just got to keep downgrading them, man. I was high on them coming in, but them last 2 weeks is still fresh in my mind. I can't forgive Trevor Lawrence for what he did against the Eagles. 4 fumbles. That was just ridiculous. The Jags should have won that game, jumped out to a 14-point lead, and still found a way to lose with all those turnovers. I know these two teams played each other already this season, with the Jags shutting out the Colts 24-0. But that's more to do with the Colts. Just the horror place is Jacksonville. They never win in Jacksonville. They always go to Jacksonville and get slaughtered. But here at home, I think Matt Ryan, veteran quarterback, finds Pittman, finds his other receivers. They can do enough to keep this game close, and they win it in the end by a field goal. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting one, too. I think I'm going to go with the over. Just so many people on the under. It just seems – I don't know, man. I think, like I said, I usually win big in Vegas, but it rarely happens when I'm on the same side as a million people. That's where I'm at. My wife is holding up a bag of cookies next to me here. She went to the bakery. She's got black and white cookies, brownies. Oh, boy. All kinds of pastry going on over there. Tempting me. Anyways.
All right, see it.
Anyways. Yeah. I'm into that Halloween candy, man. I'm deep. I'm going to have to refresh. Again, it's got no chance. I mean, I got 15 more days. 0 chance. You got the Giants taking on the Ravens. This one's interesting. These teams coming off the London games rarely have done well, but the Giants kind of counterintuitive all season long. The Ravens, their 2 losses, I mean, they're about as dirty as they can be, right? I mean, these are the ones that really do you dirty. two that they've taken. But the Giants have done nothing but been upside surprise this season. Just the one loss against the Cowboys, and that is it. Wins, beating Aaron Rodgers in London. I mean, they did. It wasn't like a fluke play or anything. It was convincingly. Chris?
Yeah, that's one. I'm still going to stick with the Giants plus the points here. I think Baltimore wins this game, but I think the Giants cover. I think this is a 4-point game. And like you said, the Giants just keep finding ways to grind out, solid performances. And Baltimore, they're winning games, but they're grinding them out themselves. And I think it's a 4-point game max. The line shifted up to 5.5. I think it was fine at 4.5, but I'm still taking the Giants plus the points here.
John?
Yeah, I've been kind of looking for reasons all week to back the Giants here because this line just seems, a little bit high at 5.5. But my concern here with New York, like you mentioned, coming back from London off that big win, they're missing two of their top corners here. I do think the Ravens can take advantage here of that. Last Sunday night there, Baltimore, like Lamar Jackson just couldn't hit the deep ball in that one, but I think he might have a little more success here today against this Giants defense. All the talk all week is about obviously Wink Martindale and how, he may have the book on Lamar Jackson here, and it's, they're going to shut them down. I don't know. No strong opinion here. Like I said, I was looking to take the Giants all week, never could quite get there, and I think the total's pretty much bang on, so it's going to be a no play for me.
Jovan?
Yeah, I was squarely on the Giants for most of the week, but then I started to change my thinking and just shifted slowly but surely to the Ravens, just based on a couple of things. The first one, or the main one, being the fact that Baltimore has Lamar Jackson and the other team doesn't. He's gonna be able to break loose for some long gainers on the ground, I believe, against this Giants rush defense and other running backs that the Ravens have. So I think there's gonna be a few broken plays where, third and whatever, Lamar Jackson breaks loose. And I'm just not. I just don't know how the Giants are doing it right now. With their receiving core, they're playing over their heads basically. They got a bunch of no-namers. Daniel Jones, he's still Daniel Jones. Even though he's not a good quarterback and all these mediocre, but I kind of like him. So. But at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a 7 to 10 point Ravens victory when it all shakes out.
Al Niños.
Yeah, I was kind of on the same page as as Jovan here. I kind of like the Giants this year. I've backed them a few times already, and getting more than a field goal with them sure was very tempting at first glance. But again, just feels like a spot for. And as Chris was mentioning as well, the Ravens haven't really been blowing anybody out. But for some reason, it just starting to feel like a spot where the Ravens get a comfortable win. But not a premium play by any means, but I'll lay the points with the Ravens here.
All right, so in this one, if y'all watch the NFL show, this is where I'm going with it. I'm taking the Ravens in the first quarter. I'm taking the Ravens in the first half. The Ravens are the first quarter and first half, like they always do it. But what that scares me is they've let up 3 10-point leads thus far this season, which is crazy to me. They let the Dolphins walk them down. They let the Bills walk them down. And Cincinnati, they was up 10 on Cincinnati in the first quarter last week. So what that tells me is they're fast starters, and I think they jump out fast here on New York. Adjusting to Lamar Jackson coming out of their pocket, also going over the top is not something easy to do. He's one of one. But I also lean towards Baltimore full game as well. This Giants team, I know they came off an emotional win last week, a huge win. This Giants team is better than people are getting it credit for. I think some people think they're mistaken for one team, but this Ravens team, they bounced back here today. It's a good spot for them. They win by 10. Give me the Ravens and take them first quarter and first half.
I got roasted on the under in the Giants game last week against the Packers. It wasn't even close. It was almost over by halftime, but 14 of the Giants' last 15 Sunday home games have gone under the total. Oh, man. think this one stays under the total. These two running teams, so it figures, but it's like you say two running teams, but in this NFL, it's like you got two running teams where you have guys that rip off, 50, 60-yard runs like they're going out of style. Barkley and Lamar Jackson and, everyone else. And the Ravens have gone to a lot of these sweep plays to their wide receivers too. I also like the over 70.5 yards receiving for Mark Andrews. Prop hits 90% of the time. And you're getting about even money on that thing.
Number one option.
So go to the next game here, and we've got the Falcons and the 49ers. This is an interesting one to me. This 49ers defense is ridiculous. They are so good. It just goes to show you, even Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, and Jimmy Garoppolo got to a Super Bowl, and it's because of defenses like this. The Falcons, they just continue to cover. Chris?
Yeah, I'm still going to stick with, I don't know. This was a game that I had a hard time sort of getting a feeling for throughout the week. I'm leaning towards the Falcons plus the points, sort of one of those things where you keep riding the hot cover team until the wheels fall off. But again, that defense for the 49ers kind of scares me. So it's a lean towards the Falcons, but definitely not a play I'm rushing to bet.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm with Chris here. Maybe slightly into the Falcons here, and it's more just because I think you get the Niners coming off that blowout win last week in Carolina. Panthers kind of hit rock bottom in that game. The offense couldn't stay on the field. The defense, really had no answers in that game, but they were in a bad spot all game. So you get San Fran coming off back-to-back wins. Prior to that, they beat the Rams in the Monday Nighter. Also a lopsided game. I was big on the Bucs last week against the Falcons, and that was a real tough one to take when they're up 21-0, clearly controlling that game, and then they just left the back door wide open, and the Falcons almost come back to get the ball back with a chance to take the lead. So it's really just tough to go against Atlanta right now, just the way they're a tough out. They're just a tough team. They stick around. Niners, you mentioned their defense is dominant, but they are missing a lot of guys now on defense. We're looking at their second unit almost here defensively here this week against Atlanta. So, really light lean here to the Falcons plus the points. It's not a play that I'm going to make likely.
Jovan, speaking of that Commanders game, I lost a hat bet to Romanelli in this one. So now I'm on the Commanders mailing list. It's like living hell. Oh man.
Oh man.
It's one of those things you buy something and then it's for the rest of your life they email you. It's I need a new Commanders hat every day or something. It's how many freaking Commanders hats do you need?
You get 15 CDs for $0.01, and then they're on you for the rest of your life.
At least I listen to music, man. I don't even wear Commanders hats.
Mitch has got his president for the Dan Snyder fan club nomination coming up. So
they have one actually they have the W, like the Washington, and it says Wentz.
God.
Yeah, you need that one.
I should get that one.
Yeah, so I'm on the under in this one. First half under. If you look at the Falcons, the things that they do, they chase points in the second half, and they're playing the better teams. They usually get there because the game's already lost. Last week it could have been won if the rough in the pass. They could have had a chance to win if the rough in the passer call wasn't called. But that's a whole nother story. That's just the way the NFL works nowadays, protecting the quarterback. But in the first half, not much doing against the better teams, against the better defenses in the league. And I just think that in this one, scoring is going to be at a premium, especially on the Atlanta side. San Fran's going to do what they do. They're going to run the ball, so I think that the under's in play in the first half.
Out.
Yeah, as far as the side's concerned, I think it's a pretty tricky one on the line where it is. I think could go either way. Maybe slightly into the Niners, and then I do like that under though better probably. So give me the under. Well, yeah, the Niners defense been real good.
Man, y'all know I've been on the Dirty Birds all season. I told y'all coming into this season that this was probably the best trash team in the league. But in this one, I think they just get mauled. This is what San Francisco does. They're a physical team. They're a bigger team. And they're at you. And they're in your face. They push you down. And I just think they run all over this Falcons team here today. I think the streak comes to an end. It was good while it lasted. If you were on it, you made crazy money. And I think the public jumping on the Falcons today. I know San Francisco missing some pieces, but this is a top 3 defense in the league.
That's the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
It's the best defense in the league.
Yeah. So I like the Niners here today. I think they win by a touchdown or more. Falcons don't climb back in this one.
Taking the Falcons on the money line here. I just think you continue to bet against Jimmy Garoppolo, you're going to make money. And if you can get plus odds, pretty good money in spots like this, especially on the road, why not? It's worth a shot. I mean, the Bears wallop the Niners at home, and they stink. So I think it's certainly a possibility that the Falcons can beat them too. We saw the Falcons last week. I'm telling you, they could have won that game outright too. I like the Falcons money line. We got the Packers against the Jets. I don't think we can underestimate. I don't think we can underestimate just how bad the Packers are this season. This could be the worst that we've seen the Packers. They're bad. I mean, they lost to the Giants. These receivers stink. Alan Lazard is not a number one. Not. I don't use these terms that they come up with. They make QB1, WR1. I don't know. We have the number one guy, right? Number one wide out, number 2 wide out, number 3 guy, right? Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Austin Collie, 1, 2, 3, right? It's like, it's that easy, but it's like Alan Lazard is not a number one. And if he's number one, then you're number 2. It's kind of like when, the Mets starting rotation, when DeGrom and Scherzer are out, everything just kind of slides down. Because Alan Lazard not a number 1. He's a decent number 2. He's not even a good number 2. Chris, you know a lot about number 2. Go ahead. What do you think?
Well, I can agree with you that this is not a good Packers receiving core. Definitely one that gets a lot more credit than it deserves just because of who's throwing them the ball. That's why I'm taking the Jets plus the points here. The Jets put up 20 plus in back-to-back weeks, and they've got a really good group of defensive backs. I think they're going to be able to keep these Packer receivers in front of them, make life very hard for Aaron Rodgers in a game that, on the surface doesn't seem like it would be that difficult for him. But getting a touchdown plus a hook, I got to take the Jets plus the points.
Did you happen to catch Rex Ryan on The Amazing Race?
I did not. I did not know he was on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, he got eliminated pretty quickly, but he was on there.
Doesn't surprise me. He's used to getting eliminated quickly.
Like when Jimmy Johnson was on Survivor. Sean, how about you?
I remember that. I like the Jets here. I really like the Jets plus the points in this one. The Packers, you can put them in that category with, who would we say, the Rams, the Panthers, the Colts. These are all just broken offenses this year. It's not working, whatever they're trying to do. The receivers are a big part of it, but it seems like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon were supposed to be such a dynamic 1-2 punch out of the backfield. And, there's been a couple games where Jones has had a couple good games, but other than that, it's just not working for them. The only concern here with the Jets would be kind of an implosion from Zach Wilson. But outside of that, I think we're going to see them lean on the run. The Packers can't stop the run this year. I like that Jets backfield with Breece Hall and Michael Carter. I think they shorten this game, and in that case, you like grabbing more than a touchdown with the Jets.
Who was on Survivor also was Jeff Kent was on Survivor. He tried to cover his identity and say he was a cattle rancher. And like one of the women on the show is like, she's like, oh yeah, it's kind of like when I watch the baseball games, like every time he says anything, she's like, yeah, it's like I had one of those at the baseball game. She's like, and then they show the side interview. She's like, I dated this guy that was like a psycho on baseball. She's like, that's Jeff Kent. she's like, you don't even know how many games I had to sit through. She's like, anyways, Jovan, Packers, Jets.
Yeah, I'm going over in this one. Green Bay was supposed to have a good defense, but I can't tell. They're giving up points left and right. Being in these games where when they're up, by a substantial amount, they just can't hold their opponents. And like I said last week, the Jets are talented. They made good choices in the draft, and it's coming to fruition right now. So I'll take the over in this one. I think it gets over this 45.5, 45, wherever you could get.
I'm seeing a lot of humping up on the Jets, Jets, and that typically tells me fade the Jets, Jets. I know this Packers team hasn't looked good in those last few weeks, and they haven't. But this is just one of those games. Like just take it back, just take a step back and just think about it. Aaron Rodgers against the Jets in Lambeau Field. Strip it down. This is one of the games. Aaron Jones is going to be all in the stands in Green Bay. He's going to find Lazard. He's going to find whoever he want to find in this game. The Packers win, and the Packers win big. Huge bounce back spot for Green Bay here. Take Green Bay, lay the points.
Jay, if you were on Survivor and Gary Hogaboom was in your tribe, would you recognize him?
Probably not.
Yeah, he was on. He was on. Gary Hogaboom, starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else recognized him either. But when you recognize these guys is when it comes to the event where you have to throw something. It's like these guys. Oh man, who was the guy from the Blazers that was on? The Cliff Robinson. Is that his name? Oh man. It was like he was in one of those ones you had to like throw the ball into the thing. It was like boom, boom, boom. It's like he's not even known for that.
Well, it's tough for NBA players. It's tough for NBA players to hide on a show like that when you're
he's
6'10", like free kid.
El Nino's Jay skipped over you.
Yeah. Again, I think there was a game kind of felt like this last week where at 7. I was kind of looking at the Packers, but at 7.5, I gotta just take the Jets and hope that hook comes into play. Or maybe they even cover. Maybe the Packers even win by less than 7, but I think the Jets can keep it competitive. They've been looking pretty decent, better than I thought they'd be. So, and as you said, the Packers just not looking great. So I'll take the more than a touchdown here.
I can laugh track myself on this one. The Jets, I'm telling you, I like Garrett Wilson. I like Breece Hall. I like a lot of things that the Jets are doing, man. I just think that they're putting some things together. It's just a matter of staying healthy. And I really don't like anything the Packers are doing. And I think that they've made a very, very big mistake here. That if they were going to treat Aaron Rodgers like this, with the crap that they've given him to work with offensively, then they should have traded him when he wanted to go. Because that giant salary, someone else would have paid it. And it would have been John Elway in Denver. He would have paid it. And they would have, it's like, but to leave him there with Alan Lazard and, a bunch of guys, I don't even know who any of these guys are, but none of them can catch at all. None of them can run a route. None can catch. You have Randall Cobb, who was really good like 10 years ago. I really don't even understand the strategy there at all. I think you have two teams going in opposite directions. I think the Jets also have a better coach. Browns against the Patriots. I want to talk about better coach. The Browns team that seems to find a way to lose. I mean, how do you lose last week when the Chargers basically gift wrapped the game for you? The worst coaching decision of the season, going for it on 4th down with the Browns have no timeouts at all, and you're at the 50-yard line. You go for it on 4th and 2 or 3 or something, and then you have Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Just, I don't even understand what happened in that Lions game. It was just one of those games that's like you're just watching it. You're just like, are the Lions even on the field? It was just a dissection. It was just, you don't see pummelings like that in professional football too often. Chris, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, this gem. I'm gonna go with the over in this one. I just see this being a lot of handing the ball off to the running back, but it's like one of the games we talked about earlier. I just don't think this is a game where you're going to see those runs that only go for 2 yards. I think there's going to be a lot of chunk runs hit here. I think, this is going to be one of those sort of 24-20 kind of games that, still sneaks over the total. I think it was at 43.5 last I saw. I like it to go well over the number. I think Nick Chubb for an anytime touchdown score today, probably a nice prop.
Anytime goal. You said goal.
I said goal because I'm still in hockey mode. So
you think they go with Chubb and Hunt in the same backfield? Because Bill Belichick, obviously his strategy is going to be where he takes away, their best option. It's going to be Chubb, right? I mean, it's like he's going to take Nick Chubb out of the game. So you go Chubb and Hunt in the same backfield? I mean, is that where you go, Sean?
Yeah, it's just like you just said. This is a classic kind of Bill Belichick coached game where he's going to look to take away the Browns' running game. And I think we forget these two teams actually matched up last November in Foxborough, and the Patriots stomped all over them 45-7. I wanted to take the Browns here coming off back-to-back losses. Both games were close. You got the Patriots coming off that 29-0 win over the Lions, rookie quarterback starting on the road. All signs kind of point to the Browns here, but I just can't. I don't know if I can get there with Jacoby Brissett against Bill Belichick here. He's coached him before. He knows what to expect. I'd have to lean plus the points here, plus the points with the Patriots, as much as I hate to do it.
Jovan?
Yeah, I flip-flop all week on this total, but I'm gonna land on the under in this one. I hope I get a 44. I just think it's gonna be a situation where both teams are gonna be able to move the ball, but I think we're gonna see a lot of threes as opposed to sevens in this one. The ball moves in between the 20s and just stalls out in a lot of these drives. It's unknown with quarterback of. For the Patriots, it should be Zappy, but the Patriots, they know Brissett. That's a given based on his time in New England, and I think the Patriots defense at the end of the day can neutralize the Browns enough so where this could be a lower scoring game. So give me the under.
El Niños.
Yeah, definitely not another game I'm looking forward to betting, but if I had to make a play here, I'd probably take the Browns. But again, not touching it. I kind of like the Nick Chubb look, but again, as you said, the Patriots probably game plan for that, and you're laying juice. But slightly into both Chubb and the Browns.
Jake?
Yeah, man. In this one, the Browns, they just find ways to lose ball games. They do, no matter how you slice it. The Patriots, on the other hand, they starting to look good. I like how they run the football. Their offense doesn't change no matter who's in there, Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, although Jones is better. I like the Patriots here in this one, and I would sprinkle some on the money line. I think that they come in, establish the run, they take away Nick Chubb, and then they just find a way to win it, man. Better coach. Patriots need these type games. I don't trust Jacoby Brissett in this one. Kind of just like last week, I didn't trust Jared Goff against Bill Belichick's defense. I don't trust Brissett here either to win a football game. I like the Patriots to find a way to win it in an ugly, low-scoring game.
The Patriots 21st against the run this season, but just seems that Bill Belichick always finds a way to figure these things out when he needs to. And, the Browns 28th against the run. And I kind of like these Patriots running backs. It's like, you're winning games with Zappy and Mac Jones. I mean, doing something right. I think these are the games where, the coaching really comes into it, really becomes a factor. Got to consider it. Speaking of coaching, Mike Tomlin really looking as bad as he's ever looked, but I don't really think it's him. I just think it's, he doesn't have the guns this year. He's got the learning experience of a rookie quarterback who, despite the score of that game, I thought he looked pretty good, out on the field. He had some good presence. He was distributing the ball, but I think the Bills were just in a different area code last week. Now here they are home against the Bucs, who haven't really been anything special either. I mean, they're not running the football at all. They're talking about Christian McCaffrey being available for trade. Do you think the Bucs are the team that goes after him? You think they trade him within the division, Chris?
I mean, if there's one thing I ever learned from Ted DiBiase, it's that everybody's got a price. So if someone's willing to pay it, then power to him. I think he'll go the highest bidder because the Panthers are just in turmoil right now, and I think they just need to not worry about where they're trading him, just worry about getting the best possible package for him. So could they trade him within the division? Sure, they could.
It happens, the Dolphins traded Wes Welker to the Patriots for a second-round draft choice. Anyways, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, this one I'm gonna go with the Bucs. I will give Pickett credit; he has looked good, and for all things considered, I mean, it's sort of been a trial by fire, baptism by fire for Kenny Pickett because he doesn't have that Hall of Fame worthy quarterback like a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers or whoever to learn under and to sort of marinate for a couple of years, get some knowledge. He's just learning on the fly on the field at full game speed. And that's not something that you want to have to do against, one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. The Bucs, they haven't looked great. They scraped by the Falcons last week, but I think this is a Bucs team that's fully capable of coming out winning this game by, a couple of touchdowns. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's still out for this one. That Steelers secondary is banged up, giving up a lot of big plays this season. And I think Tom Brady can definitely come out and take advantage of a Steelers team he's had a lot of success in over the course of his career. So give me the Bucs laying the points here.
Sean?
I'll go with the over in this one. Both teams coming off under results last week. You look at the Bucs. I talked about that game earlier where they, jumped ahead 21-0, and then they kind of took their foot off the gas. I just don't think they do that here this week. So I think they can pretty much name their score against this Pittsburgh defense. Just too many guys missing for the Steelers, and they were bad to begin with. But on the flip side, you mentioned Kenny Pickett. I mean, last week they attempted 50+ passes. They're going to keep bombing away here, I'm sure. And it seems like Pittsburgh's more and more just kind of moving away from that ground game that's just not working for them. They're not. Najee Harris has been, for the most part, a bust, I suppose you could say. And Mike Tomlin's talking about giving Jalen Warren more time. I just think if Pittsburgh's going to move the ball, it's going to be through the air here. And I think Tampa Bay does give up a couple scores. So we've got the total, I think, at around 46. I'll go over that number.
I think Najee Harris looks like the case of going to the well once too often with these Alabama running backs. I don't think he's the guy.
No, I agree.
I don't think he has it. I would say Robinson on Washington. I'd say the jury's out on him too.
I think with Harris,
the kid they got now, the guy from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that Steelers offensive line is, just bad all around. I mean, I think that's one problem Harris has obviously had. There's no one blocking for him. They're not opening anything up, and so he's been kind of drafted into a tough spot as well. But I agree, he's hasn't amounted to much here, and we're into the
could be Trent Richardson all over again.
Yeah,
Jovan.
I'm gonna be on the other side with this total. I'm gonna take the under. Just too many mistakes or too many with Pittsburgh on the Pittsburgh side. They're moving the ball, but I don't see them putting up a lot of points on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. And on the other side, some things just look like they need to be cleaned up with Tampa Bay. This might be get right spot offensively for Tom Brady and the bunch, but I think that they've been playing a little bit too lackadaisical on the offensive side. There's been injuries also, but in the same breath, on the road, in Pittsburgh, not a favorite place for Tom Brady. So let me get the under.
Out.
Yeah, sure. Maybe the Bucs could name their number, but I'll take the 10 points here. It's definitely not a huge bet for me or anything, but getting 10 points. Sure, why not? I'll take him. I mean, again, don't love this play. Sure, the Bucks are the much better team, but I'm not in a rush to lay 10 points either. So I'll just take the points and hope for the best.
I'm laying the 10 points, man. Give me the GOAT. Give me Brady. Give me all those weapons he have, man. They've been struggling, but this is the bounce back spot against one of the worst teams in the league. Are y'all serious? I'm taking Tom Brady and them. They got aired out last week. The Pittsburgh Steelers did. I know that this is their NFL group. They typically bounce back, but they don't bounce back here today. If you go look at the Steelers lineup, they're finna go through the gauntlet. They had Buffalo, they had Tampa Bay today, and then they got a few. I think their next two matchups are pretty tough matchups too. I don't like them here today. Although Kenny Pickett is my guy, I think the Bucks win by 2 touchdowns, maybe even 3. They run all over them today. This is just the get right spot here for Tampa Bay.
I like the Steelers here. I'm considering laying the money line on this one as well. The Bucks only score 20 points a game. You're laying 10. So you're saying basically the Steelers aren't going to score anything. I mean, if you're taking the Bucks here, because their offense has not looked good. They cannot run the football at all. 0. And, the Steelers are a proud bunch, man. These are NFL players. And, you could say, oh, they're not as good as whatever. These are NFL players. Every player in the NFL is good. I do not care, if they're good on, the team or anything. And some players are better than others, but every player on the NFL is good. And I think the Steelers show up here. I think that, the Bucks have been far from convincing. I think Tom Brady's going to have some regrets. I thought he would have regrets about going to Tampa in the first place. I was wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think he has regrets about coming back this year because he has not looked good. And, he has not looked like the same guy. I mean, that game that they lost at home to the Packers, they always win that game. He always wins that game. It's like not even close. The one against the Chiefs, oh, forget it, man. Just forget it. It's like that looked like the Steelers against the Bills last week. It was no better. Todd Bowles is a good coach, great coordinator, but when it comes to being a head coach, he has not had any success at the NFL either. Aside from that, Dolphins-Vikings. Dolphins king of the home game. It helps when it's you play in a stadium. It's 165 degrees, and the Vikings coming, of course, from Minnesota Dome Stadium, and Kirk Cousins is their quarterback. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Dolphins plus the points. The Vikings keep finding ways to put themselves just in close games when they don't necessarily need to be, when they have life a lot easier for them. And, the Dolphins, I think they're starting Skylar Thompson here, but, they've had a week to prepare for it. They've had a week to sort of get him right, get him focused. And I think that Mike McDaniel definitely going to formulate a game plan to highlight whatever strengths Thompson has. And like I said, I think this may be a case of Minnesota just shooting themselves in the foot and letting the Dolphins stay in this one if the Dolphins don't win this one outright. So I'm going to lean towards the Dolphins plus the points.
What are you selling at Pick Dogs today?
For me today, I got my $15 NFL Platinum play. It's also been kind to us. I also got that Platinum play as part of my Shotgun Sunday 3-pack. Also got a Sunday night play and an MLB pickoff play if you're interested in the baseball action today as well over at Pick Dogs Premium, and use that promo code 15 off to get 15% off your purchase.
Can you bang out a tune on that piano for us?
I will do my best.
Because it can, it can get ugly with these fake backgrounds. I have that Oompa Loompa slide somewhere.
I dare you.
Sean, what do you think of this one, Dolphins-Vikings?
Yeah, no strong opinion here. I got a premium play on the total, but as for the side, I'd lean to taking the points with the Dolphins here. I think it's kind of telling that, Teddy Bridgewater, it sounds like he could play here, but they're just going with Mike McDaniel's just going with Skylar Thompson. So I think he just feels that he gives them a better chance to push the football down the field here. Because this is a matchup kind of nightmare for the Vikings secondary against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think their speed is, the Vikings have a slow secondary, and I think that speed can kill them here. Of course, those two guys are a little banged up too, so that adds some bit of confusion to it as well. But I don't know. The Vikings don't stop the run. Like I said, their secondary is not great. I think there's kind of a path here for Miami to, at the very least, keep this game close. So I'll grab the points with the Dolphins here.
What do you got for sale on the premium today?
I've got five premiums in the NFL here today. 18-8-1 run coming into today's action. So 3 10-star plays. I've got those 3 packaged together if you want to take advantage of that. Or of course, look for one of the longer term packages. Those are obviously a better deal than spending, $40 on each individual play. So take a look at those long term packages. That's your best bet.
You use those hockey sticks are in the corner, or is those in case somebody breaks in?
That's just first. That's of course for security here in this office. I'm close to the door, so got to be safe.
I got a perfectly good bat under my bed. Jovan, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, no rhyme or reason really. I'm on the Dolphins money line. Well, actually, it's Kirk Cousins, 1-4 against the spread. These are the type of games where they're favored on the road that they lose more times than not. Miami has a third string quarterback, but he has a week to prepare. They prepared him for a week. It wasn't like it's a trial by fire situation. So I expect the Miami Dolphins, in the heat of Miami, to bounce back and get the job done.
Yeah, we saw, Skylar Thompson in the preseason, and a lot of people felt that he outplayed Teddy Bridgewater in the preseason, and that, Bridgewater was not even going to make the roster. El Niños?
Yeah, as already mentioned, Bridgewater is good to go, but they're not starting him, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna look at the over here. I think both offenses kind of get it going here, and we get over this 45 points.
Jake?
I'm with you, man. I'm on the Dolphins here in this one. Skylar Thompson with a week with the offense tailored to what he can do. I think we see him make a few plays. He looked good in the preseason. I made some money on Skylar Thompson in the preseason. I think we see him have a great outing here today, especially with those weapons, Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Minnesota on the road is just not. It's not a bet on situation for me. I don't really trust Minnesota. They're 4-1, but they're 1-4 against the spread. That means they win ball games, but they typically don't cover. They have Kirk Cousins at quarterback, so they don't have that knockout punch. And I'm afraid that's what's gonna hurt them here today. I'm gonna take the 3 points, but I would also sprinkle a little bit on the Dolphins money line as well.
A lot of these Vikings players are from the Miami area, but part of what happens is when you move away and you live in cold places, you kind of lose that. I'm used to it, especially the suffocating heat, that can be in Miami at those 1:00 games. And I think it's just going to be baking out there, man. It's usually you see these teams, they go to Miami and they just bake. And that's why the Dolphins are just, you look at their home record in, recent years, even, it's really not even close, right? Let's see what the streak says about this. I know it's just something stupid. It says that the Dolphins have won 8 games in a row at Hard Rock Stadium outright, which means, well, they haven't lost in a season at home. And I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are going to change that. Anyways, go to our next game. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Arizona Cardinals. 2-2-3 teams. I'd say for the Cardinals, a disappointing 2-3. For the Seahawks, probably okay with it as they continue to evaluate these college quarterbacks as Hooker moves into the race. And this could be one of the best first-round quarterback drafts in history. This could rival the Elway Marino draft. I think it's up there. I think it has those type of guys. I think we've seen other drafts with a lot of quarterbacks taken early. The Ben Roethlisberger, right? That draft. But rarely do you see like, big time, Hall of Fame talent. And I think, that's the type of draft that this one's going to be. Chris, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, I still can't believe I'm saying it, but Geno Smith leading the league in completion percentage, hitting over 75% of his passes. Kyler Murray, we've seen him, be semi-capable at leading this Cardinals offense that's okay with putting up points. But against the Seattle defense, they should have a bit of an easier time. I like the over in this one. I think we have one of those high scoring, 55, 57 point games, like a 30 to 27 kind of game, whichever way you have it going. So I'm going to go with the over in this one between the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Sean?
Yeah, I'll go with the Cardinals in this one. It's kind of strange, but it seems like Arizona is just awful at home, but good on the road. 10-2 against the spread their last 12 road games. Doesn't really add up, but that's the way it goes. And again, you've got that awful Seattle defense here playing. How long can Geno Smith keep it up? I don't know. I'll lean to the Cardinals laying the less than a field goal here.
Took a money line last week. Dead to me, Jovan.
Yeah, I'll take the over, but it's just a lean. I could see this being a low-scoring game. Either even though I'm taking over, Arizona, they're just one of those teams where the games where they're supposed to put up points, they don't. And the games where they're supposed to get shut down, they put up points. It's just one of those weird teams. But this one, I think the Seattle Seahawks, their defense. Yeah, they fit the bill to get scored on. So I expect a lot of points in this one at the end of the day. Don't like it, but I'll take it. I'll take the over.
What do you have in the premium today?
Yeah, I got a 5-pack. Also got a 3-pack. 1 o'clock game strictly. The 5-pack is 4 1 o'clock games. 4 o'clock game. So I got a 5-pack, 3-pack, and that's really it. I usually have a bonus pick, but I couldn't get there with anything else. So for $49.99 for the 5-pack, $39.99 for the 3-pack.
Yeah, I'm a lean to the over as well here. Again, don't see anything special from these defenses, and I think the offense just put enough points to get us over this total.
What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Just a 3-pack today, so you can grab it. I got each play up individually as well if you're just looking for one bet. But
all football, or you got anything?
Yeah, just
else?
all NFL today. Gonna give you a free play on the MLB if we get to that later on the show. But yeah, just 3 NFL today for me.
NHL taking the day off today, kind of like Zawacki. Maybe that's why Zawacki's not here. Jay, what do you think of this one?
My bad to get back to my notes. I like the Seahawks here in this one. The Cardinals are overrated in my opinion. They just are. I like Seattle to come out here. This offense is better than it's given credit for. Geno Smith, as Chris alluded to, leading the league in completion percentage. Also, like top 3 in he's also top 3 in QBR. I don't trust this Arizona team. I think the Seattle team at home. I think the Bills gonna be rocking. I think Geno finds his weapons. I think that they can run the football. I know Penny's out, but I still think they can run the football. And when it's all said and done, I think it's gonna be a tight one. But I think the Cardinals lose outright to Seattle here today.
What do you got for sale for your birthday package here?
Yeah, man, I got 8 plays out there today. I did not play it lightly, man. I love today's card. I got them broken down in all different packages. I got a high noon pack, 3-pack. I got a late afternoon pack. I also got a money making 3-pack. I got a 5-pack out there. So different ways to break down. I got my best bet and a total of the day out there as well. So however you want to grab it, man, go grab it. Smash down today. Let's have a great one. Long-term package, though, is probably your best bet because you want all 8. So let's make some money today.
All right. Got the Rams taking on the Panthers. I don't know, man. the Rams and the Bucs, I can't figure either of these teams out. So I don't know. Matthew Stafford looking like the same Matthew Stafford that we've seen for the bulk of his career. The Panthers firing their coach, that's what you call biting the bullet. Chris, how come I can't get a job where they fire me and pay me $50 million? The hell's wrong with this world?
I don't know. When I find one, I'll let you know. But I'm gonna go with the under here. Normally, I wouldn't expect myself to say that about a game featuring the LA Rams coming into this season, but it's like you said, the Rams with Matthew Stafford just have not been good. You know, they've been giving up too much quarterback pressure. It's forced Stafford into a lot of mistakes. And while the Panthers, I don't think are going to generate a ton of pressure, I don't see them, bending and breaking against this Rams offense that, like I said, hasn't been that good. But I also don't expect anything offensively from the Carolina Panthers. I know better than that this season. So I'm going to go with the under 41.5. I think we're going to struggle to hit 30 points in this one.
John?
Yeah, I don't know. This should be a huge spot for the Rams, really, when you think about it. I mean, they should be able to just blow this team out, but I don't know. I can't get there with them. And like I said, I'd put them in that category of broken offenses. Like Matt Stafford doesn't look right. The offensive line's got injuries. They're struggling. Cam Akers is out now with personal issues, and it's down to, Darrell Henderson in the backfield. And I don't know. I can't get there with the Rams laying this many points. My initial lean was to the under in this one, but Carolina is missing J.C. Horn in the secondary. I think he's out. I don't know if the Panthers offense can stay on the field long enough to kind of sustain drives here and shorten this game would be my concern with P.J. Walker in there. Not to say he's a big downgrade from Baker Mayfield, because he was awful. Last week against the Niners, he was beyond awful. This is just a clear stay away game from me all around.
Jovan?
Yeah, definitely a stay away game, but I'm gonna lean Rams, and I'm the type that I don't like laying heavy lumber in the NFL. Just in long term, it just doesn't work out. So I'm on the Rams in this one. I think it's a get right spot. Dealing with a team that fired their head coach, has a second stringer, I guess. He's really a third stringer because Darnold's out too. So, yeah, I don't see the Carolina Panthers putting much up on the board, and the Rams should do enough, to keep this a double-digit ball game. So, give me the Rams.
Al Ninos.
Yeah, definitely another ugly line here. I don't like laying this many points, as I mentioned. The Rams should be able to kind of get right here, but still can't trust them. They've looked absolutely terrible. Mayfield or no Mayfield, I'd probably lean towards taking the points, but I think the stronger play here would probably be taking McCaffrey to score a touchdown. Hope he finds the end zone. We're getting plus money on it, and I'll take my chances with that one.
Jay.
So yeah, man. I like Cooper Kupp to score 2 touchdowns in this game. Also looking at this one, I had to really go look at it. I know this Rams offense is struggling, and people would look at this and be 10 points with the Rams right now, and they would automatically think Panthers, especially with the new head coach in there, and they would think this team would get an up. But I had to go back and deep dive it. The Rams have played the 3 best defenses so far this season, and now they have a low spot here with the Panthers. I think they run all over them, man. The Rams played the Cowboys defense, which is top 3, the San Francisco defense, which is probably the best, and the Bills defense, which is top 3. Now they're playing the probably my 2 worst teams in the league to me right now are the Panthers and the Steelers. I think the Rams is a get right spot for them. Everybody low on the Rams today, and I like to bet good teams when morale is low. They run all over the Panthers today.
Maybe those teams are top 3 because they played the Rams.
Nah.
It's always that part of the equation too. I'm going to take the Panthers on the money line. Matt Stafford makes me sick to my stomach. Gonna take we got next that game last week, that pick 6 out of the gate. It's like whatever it was, fumble, whatever, first play. Yeah, you stink. We got the Chiefs taking on the Bills. This is the rematch of rematches, one of our two real feature games that we have today. Chris, what do you think in this one?
Yeah, this was a hard one to really for me get a side on, but I do lean towards the Chiefs. I think the first, obviously, the big news, the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he's a home underdog, and I think that just tells you how rare this opportunity is, and I'm all about taking rare opportunities with a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. This Bills secondary still banged up. I think the Chiefs find a way to take advantage of that. Don't get me wrong. I expect there to be double coverage on Travis Kelce pretty much all game long, but I just think the Chiefs find a way to win. They do it at home. That's what good teams do. They find ways to win, and I think that's what the Chiefs do here. I like the Bills. I like their long-term hopes, but I can't pass up points with the Chiefs at home, so I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one.
Lamar Jackson decides not to re-sign with the Raiders. I want that gold piece he's wearing around his neck. It's about this big, Ravens logo. It's like, I think we could trade it in and get a summer house on that thing. Sean, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, this one would be in the category of, great game to watch, not a great game to handicap. I'm with Chris. I'd have to just lean to grabbing the points just because it's Patrick Mahomes plus the points at home, but a lot of respect for the Bills. Not a team I'm looking to go against. So this will be a stay away from me as well.
Jovan?
Yeah, if it gets to 3, if I see some 3s out there, I'll take the Chiefs. Other than that, at 2.5, I'll give it a shot with the money line with the home dog. Like Chris said, first time in Patrick Mahomes' career where he's been the home dog. So, just on the strength for that, I'll take a shot. Buffalo did beat Kansas City last year in the regular season, but we all know about the other times. So I just think in this one, the Chiefs really have a lot to prove in this one because the way I see a lot of people on the Bills. So yeah, give me the Chiefs.
I'll agree with the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a great game as far as the side concerned. Obviously, the Bills are very live here, but yeah, I kind of like the over better. It's a pretty big number, but I think they can duel it out a little bit. These quarterbacks, they have some good playmakers to play with, and I think we see a lot of scoring in this one. But I'll also take a shot with the Chiefs on the money line, and also Kelce's still a pretty reasonable price to score an anytime touchdown, so I'll take Kelce to score today.
Jay Briggs?
I'm beating the same drum as Chris and Jovan, man. First time in his career as a home underdog. I don't care. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, the second coming. He's going to be arguably the second greatest quarterback of all time when it comes down to it. He's not going to eclipse Brady, but I'm on the Chiefs, man. I don't care about no revenge from the Bills from last season. I don't care. Give me Patrick Mahomes. They find a way to win it, as they always do. They had this one circled just how the Bills had this one circled. This is the game of the year thus far. Give me the Chiefs, man. I think they win it outright.
We got I'm with you guys. I think we have a high scoring game though. These games always seem to be shootouts. I don't know. This Bills team doesn't look as good as Bills teams that we've seen recently. It just, to me, it just seems Josh Allen's getting hit a lot more, and he's getting hit really hard. He's always taking glancing blows, and he's a tough guy, and he can run over guys and all that stuff. But this year, he's taking some direct shots, and man, I don't know how long that's like. Before, when he's delivering the damage, it always looks a little bit better than when he's just getting. I mean, against Miami, he got laid out, and you just haven't seen that from him at all in his career until this year, and I think I don't know how much longer they're going to let him run around like this. And if they stop letting him run around, I don't know how he's going to be as effective. And as we go to the last game on the card for NFL tonight, and it is the Eagles taking on the Cowboys. This is a big one. The nice thing about this game is that these teams really get along well. I know they're going to watch the early games together over at Starbucks there in Dallas, and hang out and probably maybe split one of those, a few of those. What do you call it? Scones. Yeah, have a few scones together. Maybe some latte or something. Chris, what do you think?
I don't know about you, but I actually have pictures of Jalen Hurts and Cooper Rush sharing a biscotti at a table in the corner. So these are two guys. This is going to be a love fest. But no, it's going to be physical, obviously, and these two teams hate each other's guts. But while primetime unders have been cash, straight money this season, I got to go with the over here. I think these are going to be two teams that are going to like to score on each other, run it up in prime time. I could see a 28-24 kind of game, whichever way you have it going. This is going to be one of the more entertaining prime time games we've seen all season, so I'm going to go with the over in this one.
Philadelphia, not a place where you've seen a lot of big game primetime success over the years. That's for sure. Sean.
Yeah, I've actually got premium plays on both the side and total in this one. I really like the way this one sets up, but as far as a player prop here, I think the Cowboys at this point are obviously content to just put this one in the hands of their defense a little bit and kind of take it out of the hands of Cooper Rush and of course their running game as well. I'll give it to that. Similar kind of game plan to last week where would he drop back and throw it 15 or 16 times? They're going to look to do the same thing. Now it remains to be seen whether they can do that if they're playing from behind, which could be the story here with the Eagles close to a touchdown favorite here. So tough game. I'd probably just look at maybe look at Cooper Rush passing yardage props under here.
Jovan?
Yeah, this is a tough game. I handicapped this up and down every which way but loose, and I just couldn't get a good read on it. There's arguments to be made on both sides. But at the end of the day, and I'm still debating on it right now, I'm a side with the Eagles winning by 7. As long as it stays under 7, I'll ride with the Eagles in this one to pull it out. The fact of the matter is Dallas hasn't really faced an offense that can do the things that the Eagles have been able to do. And I think that's going to be the difference in this one. Jalen Hurts, he's a running quarterback, and that's going to be a difference maker in this one. So he'll find some open guys down the field, and I think this Dallas defense can get neutralized enough to where it's a close game late, but then the final touchdown by the Eagles pulls out the game. And that'll be the difference.
Al Niños.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's still any 6s out there, and if there are, I've seen mostly 6.5. So it's really, really right there. I was saying yesterday, I was talking to someone. I said if it gets to 7, I'm like the Cowboys, but it's not quite there yet. And under that, I do agree that I'll take the Eagles here. But a pretty tough game. Should be an interesting game. I mean, I've liked backing the Cowboys so far. And they've definitely kept a lot of games competitive. So it should be interesting to see which side of the line this one ends on. But I'm going to lean the Eagles here.
Jake.
Lions, Vikings, Commanders, Jags, Cardinals.
Yep. And barely beat the Cardinals.
And y'all want me to
played nobody.
They played nobody. They have played nobody. Give me the Dallas Cowboys on the money line. Give me the Cowboys on the money line.
Money line.
Hey, man, they ain't even seen a defense like the Cowboys. Michael Parsons is going to be all over Jalen Hurts.
Line.
Did y'all not see the 2 games last season? We are not worried about Jalen Hurts throwing the football. We aired him out twice last season.
Talk of Maserati money on this one. Hey, this is that kind of game.
It's my birthday. Yeah. I didn't put it in as a premium, but I should have. Cowboys on the money line.
Alternate line.
We win this thing.
Alternate.
The Eagles go 6-0.
I'm with you, Jay. Alternate.
I'm sorry for all y'all that's humping up on the Eagles.
Yeah, alternate. It's sucker bets. The money's on. There's less bets on the Eagles and more money. No, that's them laying off. That's them laying off. Because the Cowboys. This is because everyone's betting Cowboy money line, so that's why it looks that way. because
man.
because this is the easy money. This is what you call the easy money.
Everybody talking about the line movement.
Yeah, see, when you look at the line, when you look at the line dollars and betting movement, it's one thing, but you look at the money line and it is just pounded the other way, because that's the bet in this game is the +2 and change, or you just lay the alternate, which is what I'm doing here. This is an alternate game for me.
I'm gonna tell y'all this too. My guy still listing is questionable. If my guy plays tonight, it's over for real. My guy is listed as questionable. I'm not ruling out that he's not playing. The more that I got to thinking about it, why would we tell the world? Why do we tell the Eagles that my guy playing? Why would we do that? We wouldn't do it. So there's an outside shot that my guy might be playing. He's not playing, but there's an outside chance. There's an outside chance, man.
I'll say this: if you're looking at alternate, the alternate line for the Dallas Cowboys, these games
doesn't really even get you there.
Last 6 games, it's been the winner has won by at least 8 points, and most of those have been like 20 points, 26 points, 14 points. So if you're looking at Dallas and you think they're gonna win, yeah,
I don't think they're going to run it up. This is easy money. This is easy money.
Yeah, so
this is the easy money.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna smoke them. It's like, because they beat the Jaguars, they barely beat the Cardinals last week. I mean, the guy missed the field goal, right? I mean, the Cardinals had the ball. They were right there. They're ready to beat them. They had it. Jalen Hurts against this pass rush is a nightmare for the Eagles. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen to them, because you have 2 defensive ends, right, that are both are going to win that battle. Right, the Eagles have 0 chance of blocking DeMarcus Lawrence, and zip. Right, I mean, that's not. No one else has been able to do it, so these guys are going to be able to do it all of a sudden. So what's going to happen is they're going to force Hurts into the pocket, and when they did that when he was at Alabama, remember when Kirby Smart did that to them? They pushed him in, and finally they had to bench him. Because it's just it was like we don't care if we won every game and you got us to the national championship game. Yeah. This isn't going to work for us. And that's exactly what's going to happen here, because
their most impressive win is the Vikings at home. Kirk Cousins on the road is their most impressive win of the season. I'm not there.
Right? At night.
Yeah, exactly.
Kirk Cousins on like Monday Night Football or something. Yeah, it's like,
I think it was, or was it midday? It doesn't matter, but Kirk Cousins on the road was their most impressive win, and everybody's humping on them like they're the best team in the NFL. I understand that they have the easiest schedule in the NFL this season. I understand that, and they might win the division just because of how their schedule shakes out, but
I don't think so.
But hey, I'm still sitting on Dallas futures, and I think we still have a good chance to add it. Give me the Cowboys on the money line today.
I've been against Jay on the Cowboys, but this game matches up perfectly for the Cowboys. I mean, it comes down to matchups, and then you have a guy, right? You have a ball. What you have is a really good pass rush against a quarterback that, if he's in the pocket, is not effective at all. He's only good on the run. Okay, and if he goes to run, Dallas has the guy that they can spy, who can absolutely decapitate him and make him not want to play football ever again. And that is what you don't want to happen if you're the Eagles. The thing is, if he stays in the pocket, then you've got a ball hawking defender who doesn't have enough interceptions yet this year. Oh, that can change in a hurry in this one. Right? I mean, this guy loves getting interceptions. Loves.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on who's played who. Dallas, a down Bucks team. Cincinnati,
which is still better than anybody that the Eagles have played.
Exactly,
better than anybody the Eagles have played.
I understand, but they're still down and not playing well. Giants playing good, but they're still the Giants.
4-1 Giants. Only Washington to us.
Beat the Packers.
Hey, listen, I understand, but they're still the Giants. Give it to week 8.
Washington's the same team that the Eagles beat. Same team.
So it's a wash.
That's a wash.
Hey, Washington and the Rams.
And both teams that went to the Super Bowl last year. Both Super Bowl teams from last year. Come on,
at LA.
I don't know the down Rams.
I'll take the Rams over. I'll take the Rams over the Jaguars. You know,
would it regressed Matt Stafford, looking like the old Matt Stafford. I don't know.
Doug Peterson's Jags are all of a sudden the 78 Steelers, right? It's like
I'll be back. I'm gonna go get some popcorn. I'll be back. I'm just gonna.
This is the best. This is the best because I know the world is on the Eagles here. We can see it, because it's like the way they do the line movements, right? The way they show the money movements, which we don't even know where these numbers freaking come from, right? So it's all crap. So what it does is it puts people on the wrong side. Right, is what basically what it does now. Maybe back in the day it meant something, but when you look at the money line, that's where you see where the sharps are on the money line, because the sharps don't play like the points. They don't play like I'm going to tease it to minus 140 and minus 180. That's not how sharps bet. The sharps maximize value on every bet, and they're on the money line on the Cowboys. They pounded it. You can see it.
I think if Dallas does manhandle them, I think it's going to be a defensive score in the mix, because they're not going to be able to.
I think Diggs has a chance for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
we seen a sack fumble last week. A block punt can go again this week. Like, that defensive front all around on every unit is the best in the league. Better than the 49ers, but the 49ers overall defense is better. But I think we're after Jalen Hurts tonight. It's his worst nightmare. If they don't, if they can't establish the run early, like I've been saying all year, it's gonna be a long night.
I've been as critical of the Cowboys as anyone, but this DeMarcus Lawrence against that Philly offensive line is the mismatch of the century.
And Philly's line is banged up,
man. And that Micah Parsons with Jalen Hurts running, I like Parsons in that one. I like him a lot. In that matchup, I like Parsons a lot. I don't know. We'll find out, and me and Jay might be on here licking our wounds at halftime. Who the hell knows? Anyway, speaking about licking our wounds, we got the Yankees against the Guardians. We got one more for you here. Last night, the Yankees falling apart at the seams. Aroldis Chapman not on the postseason roster, and the Yankees have no closer. And last night, man, that was pretty much, we knew that the Yankees were in trouble, but it looked like they were going to get off the hook. But man, we might have a postseason with this might be one of the wildest postseasons ever. Chris, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a great one to watch if you're got the split screen on. But I'm going to go with the under in this one. Cal Quantrill, he wasn't terrible in his opener. Kind of just, ran out of steam late, but, the runs came yesterday. I think runs are going to come at a premium with this being such a high-pressure game on both sides. I also like Jose Ramirez to have a home run for the Guardians. Garrett Cole's given up a home run in 9 straight starts. I look for this to be a low-scoring battle, like the under 6.5 here.
Sean?
I'd go the other way and maybe lean to the over 6.5 here, but now we're looking at laying minus 125, minus 130, which is not ideal, obviously. No real opinion on the side here. I wouldn't be laying minus 160 with the Yankees, just given the way the series has gone and just the way you mentioned these playoffs have gone. So, yeah, again, I'm not the best one to be asking about baseball because this has not been my baseball season, but slightly into the over here.
Jovan. Yankees finally got to the Guardians bullpen yesterday. I think it was the first runs.
Yeah, I really don't have much of an opinion on this game, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Yankees just on the strength that I want a game 5. So that's basically the long and the short of it. Need the Yankees to pull one out. It doesn't look promising based on how they've given up these games late, especially yesterday. That was a heartbreaker. But Garrett Cole, he's good against the Guardians. So don't really have much of an opinion, but I'll take the Yankees.
Out.
Yeah, I'll agree. A little too juicy for my liking, and probably the reason I didn't get to it as a premium. But and it dropped. I mean, there is value on the Guardians. The only problem is I think the Yankees win the ball game. So that's what's hard for me to get there. I didn't want to lay the run line either. It could very easily be a 1-run game. But yeah, Cole's been good. He was good in his last outing. They won this pitching matchup 4-1, and last time they faced each other. And I think the Yankees tied up here.
Real Madrid up 2-0 over Barcelona. You think they hold on?
Looks like it.
Jay, what do you think of this one?
Not as easy to come back in soccer as it is in baseball.
Yeah, but they got these are two good teams. I don't even like soccer, but like this is the soccer I can watch. Like the World Cup, stuff like this. Like two good teams is always fun to watch. These guys are good.
In this baseball game, though, I like the nerfy. I'm gonna go with the no run first inning. I think we see. I think they come out tight. Yankees don't really get to scoring first inning. I think Quantrill can pitch a good first inning, and I think Cole limits the Guardians. We know they haven't been hitting well thus far this playoffs, but they still find themselves in this position, man, to close out the Yanks. So I like the nerfy, but and I'm gonna lean towards the Guardians, man. I'm starting to learn, man. This baseball postseason, all the favorites, man, they just letting me down. The Dodgers let me down so bad last night, man. I still can't believe that, man. I'm between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, man. This baseball postseason, man, it was terrible. So
they showed the stat of death there, and that was the problem. It's like Almonte has struck out all 5 batters he's faced this postseason. Crack.
How about
it's like that's one's gonna go to the fence.
Were they 197-0 or something, leading by more than a run in the 9th or something like that? The Yankees blew it. Yeah.
The Yankees that one. I would just say that with all the money that they hand out to these baseball players, I think Jose Ramirez deserves to be one of the, if he's not already, deserves to be one of the top 5 paid guys. His clubhouse presence. These Guardians, they're having fun. Did you hear the interview with the guy after he made the hit? Through the translator, right? It's like, I just put it in play and pray to God. It's like, sounds good. Sounds good to me.
You do you.
Whatever it takes, man. So kind of like me when I put my bets in. I just put my bets in and pray to God. Chris, what's your parlay for today?
I'm gonna go with the Giants. I'm gonna go with the Bucks, and I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Sean.
Yeah, parlay for today. I'd probably go Cardinals money line. For the Cardinals money line, maybe with. Let's find one more. Let's go with the Patriots money line.
Go on.
Dolphins money line, Chiefs money line.
El Niños.
I'm going to go Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown. I wanted to go Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but maybe just throw the Yankees in there to put some baseball in. So either way, either Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the 3rd pick or the Yankees. Up to you guys.
Jay?
This is what you do. That's what I'm doing. Packers parlay with the Rams with Seattle on the money line. After the parlay hits, put it all on Cowboys money line. Have you a great day.
I think they call that the progressive parlay.
And that's how we're going to do it today.
Falcons money line, Jets money line, Cowboys money line. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Make it a winning day. Appreciate everyone that came on the show today. Chris, Sean, Jovan, Al, Jay. Check out all their picks over at the premium area. And, of course, hit the leaderboards, and you'll see who's the hottest per sport and the hottest cappers, who's the hottest over the last day, week, month, year, and all that kind of good stuff. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you all. Smash that like. Make it a winning day. I'll see you guys in a few hours at halftime with Jay. We're going to figure out, how we're going to in-game parlay these games with the Cowboys money line tonight.